What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are finally back in the shop and back to work on the 40. I took last week off. I had a bunch of stuff I had to finish up. We got all that done, and then I was gone all weekend for Memorial Day. So we're finally back in the shop, and we got a bunch of exhaust here on the table. We got to put together some sort of exhaust system for this FJ40. You guys know it's got an LS in it, and it's very tight, very tight for exhaust. I think I have a plan. Basically, we're gonna run down 2.5 inch from each header, and then I got this little collector here. We're gonna go to 3 inch on a V-band, run that to a I think it's a it's a Dynamax muffler. So hopefully it sounds all right. I just don't have room to run duals. I would rather run two, actual dual pipes on this thing, but the driver side is so tight. I have about a 1/2 inch from the transfer case to the frame, so there's nowhere with the driveline in the way. There's nowhere to run exhaust on the driver's side. On the passenger side, a single 3 inch pipe is going to be very tight, but I think we can make it work. I may have to wrap it with like that heat wrap so we don't heat anything up under there, but I think we can make it work with a single 3 inch. So that's a game plan. We need to get this thing up in the air and start cutting up some exhaust, see if we can make something work for exhaust on this thing. I've been kind of stressed out about this because even just building this thing, everything is so tight. This frame is so narrow. Everything is just, it's a small rig, putting in a big engine, big axles, everything. It gets really tight. So let's see what we can do with exhaust. Let's see if we can make something work. Well, before we pull this thing up into the air on the lift, we got to get the front at full bump to make sure that we have clearance for the upper link, because the exhaust is going to run right next to the upper link, right above it. We got to pull the bump stops out, get this thing sitting, basically just compress the shocks all the way down. All right, we're all the way down. Let's crawl under here and I'll show you what we're working with. So we got exhaust number 1 up here. You can see we got to run that, which is going to be pretty simple because we're going to run right up basically on top of this upper link. This side's going to be a little more tricky, but we got this 90 here that basically I'm planning on anyway running right. This is still 2.5 here. It's going to be super tight, but I think we can fit it right through there. We'll do our collector right up top of there, run that right into 3 inch, and then this will obviously run up right up to here. So we're going to have to do 45, 45, 45, 90 to our collector, and then run our 3 inch all the way out. So right now it's really tight. Obviously this upper link is all the way up, so as the suspension travels down, we're going to have way more clearance right here, but it still fits. I think we can make this work. Well, we got our first joint we got to tack weld together. There's a couple ways you can go about welding stainless steel. You have to protect the inside of this tube when you're welding it, because atmosphere oxygen, when it hits the backside, it will cause sugaring is what they call it, and it's really brittle. So you want to protect the inside. Couple ways you can do it. You can back purge the entire inside of your tube with the argon. I prefer this Type B solar flux. This stuff you can get really cheap. It's just like a paste you mix with methanol and wipe it on the inside. It protects the weld, super fast, super easy, but you got to make sure you remember to do it before you tack your stuff together. Well, we're getting somewhere. We got this main driver side tube all done, bent up over to there. We got this one cut and ready to go. This goes right up there. You can see just one piece straight down to the collector there. But one thing we got to do real quick is fix our collector because kind of sucks, but it is what it is. This flange, you can see how warped it is because obviously they welded on the inside and they didn't. Usually when you weld these, you want to have the other half of the clamp, the V-band on with it clamped together. That way if it warps together, and you just put a mark on it so you can line it back up to where you had it welded. That's the best way to do it. Obviously when you weld the inside, you can't do that. So what I'm gonna do, I like this style better anyway because it's got this little locking like orientation ring or centering ring, I guess you'd call it. So it locks together a lot better, whereas the flat flanges don't. I feel like these seal better. What I'm gonna do, we're gonna chop this band off. I'm gonna see if I can grab a 3-inch piece of tube here, or exhaust pipe, and get it in there so that I can weld the outside of it. That way I can actually clamp this together when I weld it. Well, I think this is gonna work. We got this back all sagged out, sitting at full bump. That is the only spot that I can fit that muffler. If you guys are wondering why it's in such a weird, awkward spot, that is why. Either way, it fits. So I'm happy with it. I'm gonna trim that. I'm gonna cut that up a little bit, but I think I'm just gonna do a turn down like that. Kind of like the look of it. But we got the rest of the exhaust. Most of it's already welded. We got a few joints to weld up still, but it's all fitting, looking good. I'm gonna get this thing up in the air so I can actually crawl under here. I think I'm gonna put one more mount back here, a hanger off that cross member there down to the exhaust, just to make sure that muffler is nice and supported. It's honestly pretty solid right now, but I want one more mount there, finish weld everything, and we'll be done with this exhaust. Well guys, I think we did it. It's very tight. There's one spot that's like almost touching after I welded it. Kind of moved around a little bit. I may have to do a little bit of clearancing, but I'm gonna wrap it up here. It's almost midnight. I'm really trying to get this video out for you guys tomorrow, which is Sunday. It's Saturday night right now, so I gotta go edit this video. So I'm gonna wrap this one up right here, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I was a little bit stressed about the exhaust. Honestly, I still am a little stressed about it just because where that collector is and where it goes into 3-inch, it's so tight right there. I got probably a 1/4 inch gap between the exhaust and the body and the upper link mount. So I'm definitely gonna wrap it with that heat wrap. I'm hoping that will kind of keep the heat off of the paint. I really hope it doesn't screw up the paint at all. But it is what it is. Honestly, at this point, there's nowhere else to run exhaust. That is the only place to run it. Honestly, I was thinking about kind of squishing that exhaust down, which I may have to do if we have issues, but I'm gonna run it as is for now and I just want to get the exhaust done. I want to see how it'll work. If it starts messing crap up, we're gonna have to do something else. But like I said, it's the only spot for it to go, so it's gonna have to work there. Well anyways guys, that's it. I'm gonna go edit this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I want you to go smash that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.